is something greater than Jonah here. Not long ago, there was a documentary on main Italian television on the animal kingdom with specific reference to higher animals and notably dogs. It was quite moving, apparently, to see the behaviour of this loyal friend of man. Dogs sometimes, way before the master is at the door, know that he is approaching at a distance. Dogs rescue people. I know of one case in particular in Wales. It was the dog who suddenly at a distance started to make noises and bark and be agitated and led the others straight out of the house to the side of the river where one of the sisters was in great danger. There are many indications that dogs, in their own way, feel the loss of and mourn the departing of the master. They were shown on this documentary to go to the tomb of the master long after he was dead and buried. They knew somehow that there was something of him there. And also there were scenes of a dog going onto the coffin and doing all kinds of almost human gestures of mourning. The dog can also pick up things that we cannot. They can have a great power on the olfactive level, the nose, the sense of smell. They can hear things too in their ears, wavelengths that we haven't, frequencies. And on this documentary it showed one particular scene when a dog went straight into the church, and he was a trained sniffer dog, helping the carabinieri, trained to detect hidden presences, thieves, burglars and the like, and went, because he had to, for some reason which I forget, to go into this church and do his work, and went straight to the sanctuary end and wouldn't leave the tabernacle. That means that that trained dog was picking up a real presence. When one goes into a church which may have been built in the Middle Ages as a Catholic church, but has no longer the real presence in it, one feels aesthetic beauty, yes, but a certain absence, the real absence. There is the power of the word and praise. God is honoured, but something huge is missing. Some time ago I was talking to a friend who had been by chance talking to somebody while he was in England, and they happened to go, a group of 3 very fervent Catholics with the local friend they had, into an Anglican church. And one of the very Catholic ones, who had a very sensitive interiority, picked something up. He said, "I can feel the presence here." And the others dismissed it completely, because it was an Anglican church. But the local man knew more and was reluctant to say, but he rolled his eyes and said, "Yes, well, there is a story here. A Catholic priest left the priesthood and he was taken on board by this diocese, an Anglican diocese. So maybe something was allowed to happen there when he celebrated. It's a question. But it's interesting that with regard to this, even though grace passes in non-Catholic churches, and sometimes very effectively, as Newman actually pointed out, the grace is not actually the full sacramental essence that the Lord willed positively. The ideal, therefore, is to have and to hold, to have the real presence and to hold its grace, and that is what often we do not do. Proof: we do not prepare. Proof: we talk to each other before and after, and some even during, when they're going up to receive Holy Communion in the line. Proof: there is little growth sometimes in charity, despite being close to the fire of charity itself at Holy Communion. Proof: some people who are allowed to take the Blessed Sacrament to others do not omit a conversation here and there, and some even a visit to the shop. Proof: when it comes to the way the Lord is treated, we are in a hurry. This, then, is the reflection of habitual familiarity. We have become too familiar with the King of Kings, who is present in his fullness, but does not find always the fullness of correspondence with that. In the Collect, it does ask that this prevenient grace, this grace that goes before, should go before us and follow us. We are being pulled and nudged by grace to come to the place of grace, but it must follow, and we must collaborate with it, because grace is not just automatic, but to have its effect demands correspondence, and that is what we fall down on. Our Protestant brethren have not the same explosion of grace, but they do often correspond well with what they have. So a certain humility wouldn't do us any harm. It is one thing to have the fullness of truth. It is another to have the fullness of charity and correspondence. This we can learn, for sanctity is an illusion if it is not based on deep, profound, honest humility.